Hey guys, welcome to another review. I am Mr. P, and today doing a RDA rehash, if you like. It's not, but it's something I've done a review of before. This is just from a different company, you know, a different manufacturer. So what I'm doing today is the Tobeco Zenith V2 clone. This is from, I got this from Cigar.es. Mario kindly sent it down to me free of charge to do a review of, along with lots of other stuff. So that's what I'm doing today. Tobeco Zenith V2. So a little bit of info about it. Like I say, I've done a Zenith already, so you know, this will be a nice comparison to compare the two for me and see which company is producing the better clone. So a bit of information, like I said, price on this for the Zenith V2 clone from Tobeco from Spain Cigar is going to cost €14, which, to be honest with you, is about £11, £11.50. Not too shabby whatsoever. Obviously clones, so just make sure you're aware of that and are happy with that. From Tobeco, this comes as a smaller set. You don't get the additional body cap, you know, you don't get additional airflow control ring in different colour. This is a brass only, okay, that's what I've been sent out. I'm not unhappy about that, to be honest with you, but that's what I've had it sent it to me as, is the brass version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck this down on the table and do a quick little close-up of it, and then obviously come back up to me and have a nice little vape. Right guys, close-up of the Tobeco Zenith V2. So first of all, little yellow sticker, this one is in brass. Little look around the box, you know, advertisement, bump and stuff and things, some CE markings and God knows what else at the bottom. So let's just crack it open and see what lies inside. So first of all, what we got here? Got a bit of resistance wire, whether it's Canthal or nichrome, you know, remains to be seen, but to be honest with you, it feels like Canthal, so top marks for that, Tobeco. We've got a decent hunk of silica actually. Let's have a little look. Yeah, we've got, well, I don't know, probably about 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches of silica, which is cool. If you are using silica, obviously. If not, then well, you're not going to use it, are you? But you can go in a little box just in case. What else have we got in here? We have Allen key, 2 additional washers and 3 additional grub screws, which is sweet because you don't get them with some other versions, and I've done a review of the other version of this, or another version of this, and we didn't get them in that, so you know, that's pretty cool. Let's get this to one side. Let's get all this to one side. And then obviously the article itself. Again, very brief look around it, so let's bring you down actually. Zenith written on the front, looks like it's done pretty well. Brass airflow control ring, 1 and 2 grooves cut into it as there should be. Durlin insulated top cap, obviously stopping heat sort of transferring from your build to your body and then by association to your drip tip. So let's have a little look. That doesn't screw on the best, if I'm honest with you. It's got a couple of burrs. There's a burr going on in there because it's getting a bit resistant, but you know, it is what it is. I'm going to zoom you back out very fractionally. Airflow control ring, again pretty much as it should be, 1 and 2 slots in it, bit of brass coating, I believe, to be honest. Now into the body, 1, 2 and 3 airflow paths cut in, like it should be, you know, we're kind of used to that. Let's give her a push, there we go, deck pops loose. Other than that, not a massive deal going on there, to be honest with you. There's a ridge obviously to stop it being pushed down too far, but you know, pretty standard Zenith stuff. Let's get into this little base itself. So serial 4477, obviously a generic sort of, I mean, they say probably is unique serial number, but it's not official, is it? And then you've got your crescent on there, and we have got Allen key screws. So let me just rectify the situation and get the Allen key out for this. Otherwise it could bite me in the bum in a little while. So let's just give this a go. Allen key, yep, they all seem to be, yep, working fine. So Allen key screws, some prefer it. I am one of them people, to be honest, it's just a pain in the bum to remember the Allen key, but once they're in, they're in. I'll use this little pointing tool. A little sidewall going on there, so you've got decent more. In fact, I believe that's a, let me just I believe that's a bigger weld than what's on my other Zenith, from perfectly honest. That's actually quite a decent size. Slotted cuts, holes in the posts, designed for ribbon builds, but more than capable to take sort of ribbon and your standard sort of resistance candle. There's some machine marks on the deck here which you can see, but nothing major, nothing you wouldn't expect. Insulated positive post. There have been issues with some of these insulated positive posts on these Zeniths. Double O-ring affair down here to hold on your top cap. You see it was sort of semi-tight but not ridiculously so, and then there's a little lip round here just to stop that going any further than it's supposed to. Unlike my other though, I believe this is a brass contact in here, so we'll see how that pans out. Yeah, so all in all, kind of what you'd expect really. Let me just sort of slot this. I'm more concerned about what this is causing this to have a little bit of a, just there. I think it might be on the threads, little burr on the thread, but it's nothing that we can't combat and probably won't wear in a little time, you know, so after a while it won't actually be an issue. Fairly simple, you know, stick it all back together, just screw it on, go back to start it off. There we go, so with a burr there that I've just worn through, so not burrless by any stretch of the imagination. And then there we go. Obviously remember your single air hole always lines up with a Zenith, and then obviously your other airflow paths will be here and here, but you know me, I'm a single core man, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, let me just see. I think what I'll do is I'll do a single core build. I know you can do duals on this, but I really don't feel the need to. So I'm only going to need to have 2 of these open. That one and that one. There and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck that down there on the deck really quickly, build a coil. What I've got here is some pre-flamed 0.5 candle from Spain Cigar, 2mm bit, so I'm just going to quickly wrap a micro for vaping purposes. As you can see, I'm going quite low. I fancy a semi-low vape today. With this 0.5, what I tend to do is sort of get it as best as you can, which for me at the moment would be that, and then grab these pliers and give it a really good tug. The 0.5 can take it. It's basically like coating a wire at this stage, so give it a really good tug and pull it in tight, and you'll see the difference has been made there. So from that stage, all we really want to do is grab this and pop her in, one in there, one in there. Give it a little pull. You have to work with this 0.5. You know, it's a bit of a chore at times just because of how thick it is, but you want low res on a mech. That's what you got to do. Bend them up like so, and then literally just tighten them down. One, two. I'm not entirely happy with how tight that positive went in, so we'll have another go using this part of that Allen key. Bend that down helps, obviously. Yeah, see, sorry guys, I'm just going to have to get a closer look here. Instantly, you can see there that that's kind of wobbling about. And if we go into the top, everything looks okay, but this is not gripping here. So that's not great, is it? Let's be fair. So what we'll do is we'll try and back it out like so. Drop that down now, and we'll get one of the spares out. Sometimes this is just the way it goes, to be honest. You can't expect them all to be perfect, and this is the problem with Allen key screws, especially if they're on the cheaper side or in the clone category, because this can be an issue. See, instantly, you know, that feels much better. Just got to get it to take. There we go. Screw her down. That's where the other one stopped, and then bosh, she keeps going. So that's what we want to see. nice and tight. I'm just going to put that Allen key through there and neaten that coil up a bit. So that's what I want to do. Give this a little wiggle at the back, just because it's 0.5 it will snap off literally with no problem whatsoever. So let me just chuck my Allen key and a bag of spares that I've just poured out everywhere over to one side. There we go. So like I say, just get your coil sort of to a position that you're happy with it, just sort of something like that there for me. I'm still not entirely satisfied with this, but we'll see what happens. This is a hybrid adapter, guys. Obviously most of you won't be using one of these. I just want to run this on my Fortune mod, so a hybrid adapter is necessary to do that. So what I want to do is grab my mod, screw it down, give it a fire. So obviously we're not heating quite right just at this particular point in time. Grab me tweezers, give that a pinch. That's better. There we go. Give that a little blow just to cool that down a fraction. So just whilst that's cooling down, guys, as I say, as a rehash, you know, these Allen keys, they're not always spot on and they do wear easily, which is something I pointed out in the previous Zenith that I've reviewed. But you know, that's just another case in point. Literally, I open it up. All of this has been opened before. I opened it actually to wash the atomizer before doing this. I'm just going to come up to me slightly before doing this, just so that there was no machine oil taste or whatever from it, which I do with all atomizers. Now that that's out of the way with and we've cooled down, just a standard insertion of some cotton. So whoop, down we go, and then a very simple process of putting it through. Now I tend to give it a little twist at the back end and just pull through in that kind of fashion until there's a bit of resistance there, right there. Then I would use these little QT scissors, cut some off at the back like that, cut her at the front, a bit more than that to be honest with you, I don't need that, and if we're dual coiling, grab a little screwdriver and just sort of tuck one under here and bring one through the posts. For me anyway, definitely like to get it through the post and around the back, just so we're not wasting sort of space. If you like, for me, somebody like prefers single coils, to have all of this retail around the back and not at least utilise it for fanning purposes of this cotton to wick it as possible. Seems like a bit of a waste. So got that. What I'm going to do is just quickly prime this using some of Cosmic Fog from Spain Cigar. They sent through as well, accompanying this and many other things. Just going to prime it, so most of you be more than familiar with the priming procedure at this stage. Just give it a good squeeze, to be honest with you. Oh, there we go, over prime on that side. Give it a good squeeze, allow it to sit in the deck like so, and anything you haven't primed, the cotton will then find and sort of suck up. So that's that. Get rid of this drop around here because it's doing my head in already. There we go. And for those of you who say liquid's really dangerous, you shouldn't touch it. This is 3 milligrams, so there's pretty much nothing in it. And then there we go. So definitely got vapour going on there. No problem with that whatsoever. So now what we do is obviously line up our air hole. Let's stick our top cap on, like so. Find a nice little drip tip, and then bring that back up for a nice little vape. Right guys, welcome back up to me. Like I did say at the start of this, kind of like a rehash situation. I've done the Zenith V2 clone, but this is a Tobeco version, not a Sig Green version like I had before. Really, I just wanted to compare the differences, and I wanted to let you know what the differences were, in case you were looking at buying one of them, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to have a little... Now primarily in terms of looks and all that kind of stuff, there is no real difference. And I'm going to state it now in terms of performance. There's not a dramatic difference between the two of them, perfectly honest with you. In fact, I find them exactly the same. But there are differences. The contact in this is a brass, you know, I can't actually remember what the one in the Sig Green one was, if I'm perfectly honest with you, which is really sloppy of me, but I'm pretty sure it was a stainless contact. I'm actually going to have to try and find out proper quick time now to confirm that. I mean, other than that, I know I'm not looking at camera, guys, so I've got a bit of TV screen situation going on over here. Other than that, the build quality on this, for some reason, it's not as good. I'm perfectly honest with you. The burrs at the top and the top cap going on is nowhere near as smooth as it was for the Sig Green version, which I'm finding. Let me just have a little lookery-do again. Now, some people may say, why doesn't he just go and get the Sig Green version? That is because I have no idea where it is. So let me just play this from here, and we'll see what we've got whilst we're talking. See, I find the build quality just it's not as good on this, I'm afraid. So, you know, the burrs at the top, yeah, it's not a major thing. It is silver, okay, whether it's silver plated or it's stainless steel, I'm pretty sure it's stainless steel contact. So, you know, this does have that over the Sig Green one, is that the conductivity will be better. You don't get both coloured airflow control rings with this, which is a little bit disappointing. I mean, I'd like to see it with all of the colours and eliminate having to choose, you know, just pay a little bit extra, or, you know, have them available. The main focal point in a close-up for the build quality would have been the central Allen key immediately. You know, that's the first, that's never been undone. You know, out the box, I washed it all, I stuck it back in the box, as I have done with all the stuff that Cigar sent me, for purposes of review, so I can unbox it and then re-wick it and use it straight away. They all get a wash, and you know, it's gone immediately. So it kind of, I did say it's nice to have them spare screws in there, because you didn't get them with the Sig Green version. It wasn't only nice but necessary, unfortunately. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into a 6-point hit list in this case, and cover over everything that I need to. Basically, looks as easy, it's a 10. I'm not going to worry about fanning around with that too much, purely because it's the same as the Sig Green. It looks the same, with the exception that you've only got the brass option here. Usability, again, it's the same. I mean, the posts in this actually seem a bit better than the Sig Green version. It's not that they're any better quality in terms of the insulation or anything, but the cutouts in them, in the Sig Green version, one of mine was quite, you know, substantially smaller than the other. It was one of their negatives, substantially smaller than the other two. With this, they're all pretty much even. So, you know, that's a bonus over this, I suppose. But other than that, you know, standard usability, you've got to have an Allen key, which is provided, which is good. You know, there are the spares that come with it if there's something to go wrong. You know, your O-rings and your Allen key heads, which was lucky. And I do want to point out also that the Allen key heads in my Sig Green one have worn out too. I've had to replace those. Luckily, I had some replacements that are, you know, usable in it. Other than that, it's exactly the same. It's a 10. It's a drip and atomizer. The only difference is that you have more accessibility to ribbon builds in this, which is what I may test the Niobe wire. I may test that in this because it's made for ribbon. But other than that, it's the same as any RDA. You know, put a coil in it, re-wick it, and line up your arrow. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 10. I'm not delving too much into the market for maintenance. It's a 10. It's the same as all RDAs. You take it apart, you wash it, you rebuild it, you keep it clean. It's pretty standard stuff. I will say this brass ring, I believe, is plated, so that patina in, I can't see it happening anytime soon. So you won't even have to really necessarily polish that. Because it is a high polish finish though, these are fingerprint magnets, these Zeniths, and they are going to need to be wiped clean now and again. Just if you like that pristine presentation look, if you're not too worried about that, then, you know, it's not something that's going to bother you. Let me just open this up on here again, because I come off of it. There's not much information listed on Cigar about this. It does say it's currently unavailable, but other than that, there's not really much. Lots of pictures though. This come at a cost of €14, so it's about £11.50 there or thereabouts. That is, it's cheap, isn't it? It's just over 10 quid. I keep diverging from the 6-point hit list, but that's kind of because I've already done the Zenith and I keep remembering and forgetting things. Next in the kind of the bracket would be build quality and price, which is where the €14 come in. £11.50. The price is at 10. I mean, it's a rebuildable dual coil with single coil option, airflow control, ribbon build capable, dripping atomizer, brass contacts. You know, there's lots going on here that are positives, and for, you know, under 12 quid, a bit of a bargain if you ask me. So the price is 10. Build quality suffers a bit because of that burring in the top cap. I don't know whether I've just been unlucky in this example, or whether, you know, the Tobeco screw threads just aren't as thoroughly done. But the build quality I'm going to give an 8 to, purely because of that top cap and that Allen key head that came installed in it. It happens, and I appreciate that, but still I've got to give it a knock off because of it. Flavour and vapour. This is a single core build. About 0.5 ohms. Vapour's ample vapour. So for that, it's getting a 10. No two ways about that. Vapour. Anything more than a cigarette really is considered about a 6. And when you get higher and higher, it's ridiculous. But in the grand scheme of things, I've had more from certain dripping atomizers, but this does no less than the other Zenith did, and that was a 10. Flavour, I find to be a 10. I find it to be exactly the same as the other Zenith. Now, my overall, the other Zenith clone was more expensive, considerably more expensive, in fact, over half the price again. And what you got for that was an extra flow control ring, a bit of a nicer presentation box, and a couple of pre-built coils. Other than that, you was missing the Allen key replacements, and that's about it really. So for this money, I think this is a better bargain than the other one. I actually prefer the other one though, because of the build quality issues with this top cap. It annoys me having to take it on and take it off and put it on. It's not as easy to adjust because you undo it, kind of gets a stiff point, and then you do it up and you kind of get your airflow control where you want it. If you're someone who likes the very airflow control, you screw it down, it kind of looks like it's held there, but it's not. The ring's still spinning. You need to kind of tighten it and pass the burr in order to get it to take properly. Now that should wear through over time, but it's not yet, so that's just what it is. My overall for this is going to be a 9.5. It's not that it's bad in any way, shape or form. It's actually a very nice dripping atomizer and I enjoy using it, but you know, there are niggles with it that I've got and they are affecting the marks. That's just how it works. But you're paying less money, so there you go. Obviously a big thank you to the guys at Spain Cigar for sending this down to me to have a little review of. Like I say, I've already done one, so this was just a very quick review of this. The Tobe will be very similar because I've done one of those too. Obviously thank you to you guys for watching. Other than that, I'm pretty much done, so I've been Mr. P. I shall see you soon.